Hey guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the Sino-Soviet Union playthrough. In the last episode, we got to watch the end of the First Indochina War. We talked about some of our plans going forward, maybe potential targets we'd go after, and in this episode, we are going to further progress our nations and see the start of a new, unforeseen Cold War conflict, a new war breaking out, and it really caught us by surprise. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. On this episode of Dragon Ball Z, Dema finally canceled those research centers that I told him not to build forever ago, and he was like, no, I'm gonna build them because I want good research. And he's finally re-enabling all those, all the delicious land fucking fabrications, which he disabled because inflation, but I don't want to turn off the research things I'm building. Because today, he forgot that he even made them, and he reconsidered his actions, and it's looking better. There's my recap.
My inflation is going up. It was at 12.7, it's at 12.9.
Colombia had a coup d'etat. They're now leaning towards us. Support this coup.
Nah, I want to tell them to go piss off.
Anti-communist demonstrations in East Germany.
Don't we want to condemn the...
Support government. Support government.
I was gonna say, don't we condemn the government? Not the government, but the protests.
No, we support the government. Got another consumer goods factory. I'm officially building more than I'm using. Yay! One thing I'm gonna need more of is industry goods at some point. I'm using more overall than I'm making. Oh, that's something I can do right now, actually. Build one right here, in this place where I built the consumer goods factory. Sphere change. Of course, Costa Rica moving to NATO aligned. Everyone moving to NATO aligned. NATO aligned. Everyone loves NATO.
Yes, but for how long? Hey, they're delighted with me.
Who is? World market?
The world market.
Yeah, they're delighted with
me as well. I have a 90.1%.
Damn, that's a good subsidy. My subsidy is 57.7.
I don't know what you did. Yeah, I have high inflation.
What do you mean, what I did?
I was saying it might have been stuff that you did.
No.
Like,
the subsidy rating is not handed out because they like you. That's part of the reason why it's handed out, but that's not the main one. Subsidy rating is handed out to people that need the subsidy. You have high subsidy because your country's so under-fucking developed.
I thought it might have been partially because you gave countries
a
whole bunch of military goods.
That's how the rating works. That's not how the subsidy rate works. Don't confuse the two.
Oh, fun fact, I wouldn't have been able to afford the whole other two techs. Like, if I would have had the research centers, and I would have had two more techs in my queue.
Yeah.
I'd probably been losing money. Alright, so the ships I can research are armored merchant ships, the sloop gunboat, pre-century iron boat, gunboat, and an amphibious barge.
You can get some, ship techs from me. We're talking year 38, ship designs. We're talking year 38. Oh, you need shit like military vessels 37 still.
Yeah, I'm putting them.
Oh wait, you can get this there's an escort of mine that you don't need a special tech for. There is also some submarines from like the 20s and early 30s. Oh, what happened? Insurgency reported in Cuba.
Because isn't this the Castro one?
I don't know what that is. Castro, I don't think, is supposed to take power till like 59. So I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna ignore that. They're shooting. And of course, it's more guerrilla ambushes in Korea. Oh yeah. That's another thing Dema said off camera was that He wants to end up sending Korea money at some point, because as you can see by their debt level right here, they're kind of bleeding money, I believe.
I mean, their population's getting better. The domestic approval rate.
That doesn't matter much for a communist country. Ethiopia loves me now. And I can
for 90
purchase
days.
Some treaties with Ethiopia. Alright, I now have treaties with Ethiopia.
I sent them 677.99 million over 90 days. So they're getting a monthly payment from me. Basic 3-month payment. So it doesn't completely cripple them via one shot.
You did whatever you tried to do wrong because you're bleeding money like crazy. Did you send that money daily or over 90 days? Which number were you looking at? Because you have almost no money now. Your treasury is empty. What did you do?
It's set, unless the game said it wrong, because I looked where it said the amount monthly.
So the number at the top next to amount said 600 million. Not the number next to per payment. Because you just sent them all your money. Yeah, you sent them all your money.
Oh well, I'll make it up. They'll figure it out.
And that means for 90 days, you're set to continuously send them way more money than you're making.
Well, they should be able to get out of debt now.
Yeah, but what about you?
Can I even can't?
The only way to cancel shit is to, like, break ties.
Okay, so what do? I canceled a lot of it, but it's showing that they're still in a non-aggression pact, mutual defense, full transit, all that. But I am not in. Okay, let me.
I'm so confused. You're not finishing any of your sentences.
Okay, so here's what happened. I canceled the trade thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And only the trade. It cleared everything from my side for like formal alliance, mutual defense, free flow labor force, all that. It kept it on their side.
How exactly did you cancel your trade? Tell me.
I literally clicked on it and I basically hit caused it to hit X.
No, that is the break all ties with this region button, Dema.
Well, I ended up getting it fixed.
And you just took 10% off your treaty integrity. How many mistakes are you gonna make in 5 minutes?
It's fine.
You sent them more money than you had. You broke all your treaties with them, destroyed your treaty integrity by 10%. That's gonna take a while to repair.
Well,
are you sure you don't want to reload a save?
Yeah, I'll adjust what I'm doing with my country, and then I'll just pop them some money here and there.
Just focus on just make sure to focus on yourself, take things slow, and don't do that again. There's that insurgency, so we know that's a scheduled event or something.
And you hit OK on that.
Last time I didn't react to it. I guess I'll condemn the government. Might as well.
That's what I was thinking, condemn the government.
Might as well, I guess. Maybe it'll make Castro like me more when he comes to power.
Here you go, Korea. You can get another 15 mil.
Well, look at you just fucking spoiling them.
Well, I'm trying to get them out of debt, and I'm sitting here with money.
Well, they're in debt because they took debt. They're spending money on something, and they're using debt to be able to spend more money. Whatever the case, their inflation is like super tiny.
I just figure if I follow some money in,
probably a big part of it is the fact that they took over a country pretty much exactly their size, so now assimilating all of it is quite the task.
I just figure if I do to you what you did to me to an extent, it will help them out.
This time around, I've not been able to get treaties with Ethiopia quite yet.
Oh, let's see if I can get the formal alliance. If they reject it, I'll just hand them more money.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Hey, you got it.
Formal alliance.
Korea and China have made a formal alliance, and you have shoveled more money into their lap, I guess.
No, not yet.
Well, hey, you got your first other permanent, like, formal ally. Now you just need North Vietnam.
I think I got Vietnam.
No, you don't.
Let me just double check.
I'm not making this stuff up when I tell you you only have one other one, except me.
Okay, I gotta go pump money into Vietnam.
More and more countries are just going NATO-leaning. Like, the whole world just hates us, basically.
Oh, wait, non-aligned. Okay, I thought that said something else.
Another
I misread that at
NATO-leaning.
first. I thought
Everything
it
is
said
going
NATO-aligned.
NATO-leaning. Ugh, it's disgusting.
Why? Why is there such a player preference?
Like,
issue?
for some people, some countries are, their populations are growing more concerned with me, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm doing nothing. Well, that's a lie. Okay, so let me repeat that there's another MILCAT penalty that's more hidden. The size of your military compared to another country, and your production compared to another country, is like a more minor MILCAT penalty. So I guess that could do it. But again, the US has a huge amount of production. They have the major MILCAT penalties, both of them.
But Res, hold on. Is there a aspect of that whole thing where it also takes into account to how far you are from the other country? Because they see you as being closer, so they might see you as more of a threat than the US.
Maybe. That could be the case.
I was throwing that out as a possibility. I'd have to do research into that.
I'm not sure.
Okay, what is North Korea doing? Or now known as Korea.
What do you mean?
They paid me money for military goods.
It's probably because I don't think they have much of any infrastructure to make military goods. So they're doing what you do, and they're stocking up while they can, because their demand is probably a lot higher than they can keep up with.
Well, see, I was doing it to have a huge stockpile before any war.
If you look at their military goods, you'll notice their reserve stock compared to their demand is a very different number.
Yeah, they're barely even.
They have actually
close.
the highest consumption of military goods in the world.
They are horrible. Like, if you look at mine's above my consumption.
They're consuming they have a demand for over 26,000 tons every day. I don't know how, but that's what it says. But now it's at 23,000. They're doing something specific that's just consuming a lot all at once. Just ignore it.
Are they trying to modernize?
I don't know what they're doing. All I know is they're doing something.
Too bad I can't cause Malaya to go to war with Singapore when I colonize it, and then have Singapore become part of Malaya.
Well, Singapore has its own loyalty. So it's never going to become part of Malaya. You can always just turn on the loyalty map to see where loyalties actually lie. Fucking North Vietnam has 4 loyalties to deal with in its country. Laos, Cambodia, and South Vietnam, other than its own loyalty. You actually have 2 loyalties, because you have Inner Mongolia.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I don't want to take anything. And if you look, I'm not dealing with Chinese Kyrgyzstan. Let me actually funnel some stuff into Chinese Kyrgyzstan.
North Vietnam and Bulgaria just made an alliance. That's good.
Here.
That means that they are getting acquainted into my sphere. Very well. Very good. Good job, Ho Chi Minh. Good
Here,
job.
you know what? Take that and do what you want with it, Chinese Kyrgyzstan.
Are you throwing money at them?
Yup.
That wasn't a lot. They'll probably spend it on things like food and stuff.
I sent them resources as well because I don't want them to collapse. And one-year places are doing real bad. Let me find out who it is.
Turkmenistan.
They were like -11.
Yeah, Soviet Turkmenistan is not doing the greatest. Tajikistan not doing the greatest. I don't really care though. They don't have anything.
I was trying to keep mine as a buffer.
Mine are a buffer in how much land they have.
But I shouldn't worry about it because they're buffering India and then you, along with Tibet.
Yeah, you don't really. Yeah, you really don't have to worry about Kyrgyzstan. You could absorb that if you wanted at some point.
But yeah, Tibet's not.
I could do that with a lot of mine as well. I mean,
I'm not trying to. Well, I guess I could once I get things straightened out.
Some of my colonies aren't really self-sustaining very well, and some of them are actually self-sustaining very well. Soviet Turkmenistan is an example of one that is not self-sustaining itself very well. Ukraine is doing
Doing
good.
real well.
They're doing some good stuff.
Belarus isn't doing too bad.
Yeah, vaguely. Belarus is Belarus. A lot of my colonies are really tiny, thus they're not very self-sufficient. Moldova's doing alright. Kazakhstan looks like it's doing fine. Yeah, it is. A giant chunk of... That giant beefy chunk of land right there.
Soviet Georgia Republic, even though they're pro-democratic, well...
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Alliance.
Don't worry about that. I'm just gonna let them do as they do. If they do well or they fail, I don't care. I'm just gonna reap the benefits. Maybe consider annexing some of them in the future, but for the purposes of this playthrough, we don't need to annex anything. Because whether they're colonized or owned, so long as free countries are not blue, we're good. Of course, most of the world is slowly turning blue, for whatever reason, but... yeah. Ooh, the United States just made more missile sites. Have they enabled enough to allow me to enable stuff? That's the real question here.
I'm basically just doing enough to keep them afloat. That's it. Because I do not want to absorb them unless I have to.
Well, the missiles don't seem to really count towards your production. Like towards the MILCAT penalties, when you sort, the missiles don't actually really count in the sorting. So you can make like infinite missile productions if you wanted. Fucking the USSR and the USA are just like scripted when they're AI to just build the fuck out of missile production.
Alright, so I'm just going to basically keep North Vietnam and North Korea, Korea now.
Yeah.
At around 800 million. That seems like a good point.
I mean, they'll spend it. They'll spend it, trust me. So long as they don't get to the point of like 1 million, they're fine. When they get to 1 million or something like that, that means they're basically out of money.
Oh shoot, look what I helped cause North Vietnam to do.
What?
Oh, they just spend it.
What happened?
They were almost at 1.1 billion, but they spent it.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. Look at how many non-gorillas they have now. I mean, everything they're making is garbage. I wish they could just pump out more gorillas, you know? Gorillas aren't, like, something you can make, though. Because their gorillas are actually good. The infantry they're pumping out is just garbage.
I mean, I could help them with that, but do I really want to just send them stuff like that?
I mean, You could send them better designs, for example. You could send them your elite guard design.
I'll figure it out later what I'm going to do with them regarding designs and everything. Because I want to get them more modern, but I don't.
I need to micromanage so much with the sphere and the people in it and the people aligned to it and the people I have mutual defense with and etc. that I don't care if, say, Vietnam has infantry or elite guard. I don't care if they have Shermans or like modern day tanks. I don't care if one of my puppets or someone else in the sphere ends up with no money. I just don't care. If it's not absolutely essential at the top of my list to worry about for the sphere, I just don't care about it. Turkmenistan is out of money and in debt, and I don't give a shit. All it means is they're a failed colony. Maybe I'll annex them one day and use them as a stepping stone. I don't even need to annex them to do that. Just use them as a buffer and a stepping stone to invade Iran. That's all. That's what they'll be good for.
You know what I'm doing?
What?
I'm giving them all my old vehicles. This should help them protect their stuff.
What?
I'm just giving them like all my old equipment.
Who are you giving?
I'm giving Vietnam all my old equipment.
You have a lot of old equipment. I don't think they need anything, though. There's no point to give them anything. If anything, that might just hurt their finances. They'll build what they, like, think they need. They're not in any kind of constant, ongoing conflict. They're in a war in name, yeah. But they're not in any conflict that you need to worry about. So I wouldn't worry about offloading stuff onto them, because they might not be able to maintain it very well. Hell, they might just take it and then scrap it for military goods. They're getting started on their own. You'd be better off just maybe giving them some designs or something at any point, if you think they need it.
I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that later on.
Question. Are you intentionally moving combat engineers next to Thailand? Or is that just your AI?
That's probably my AI for some reason. I don't know.
Probably. I love the probably.
Because I just zoomed out everything, right? Hovered all over the world map and hit reserve.
Have you fixed all your like battle zone and theater and etc. your hotspots? Are those all like gone and fixed now, by the way? Oh! North Vietnam just declared war on Thailand. I was not expecting that.
Okay then, North Vietnam is getting Thailand.
If they can handle it.
Well, I am not jumping in this right now.
I was not expecting them to go for some kind of power play like that. They want to make a true Indochina empire here. They're just going for all of it.
I'm sorry, North Vietnam, but you're on your own.
I hope they win. That'll be one less dark blue on the map. I'm going to support the action because I approve of that. I just hope they can handle it.
I mean, if push comes to shove, I guess I can go and help them, but I don't want to.
Your call. I mean, I don't care at this point. That's not my region. Even if North Vietnam dies, I'm sure you'll just kill Thailand yourself eventually. And then now they're sending all their recon out. Are they going to mobilize any of these troops over here in the back? Yeah, they're slowly starting to move things. A lot of recon they're sending.
I'll support this. I'm trying to activate my forces, so I have my units ready in case I need to send them out.
Well, that recon just went all in, and they're meeting some tanks, motorized engineers. Ooh. Taiwan has a decent, alright for that area, like offensive army.
Yeah, Thailand is going to be
Not Taiwan, Thailand, yeah. They have more military fabs than Vietnam. That's the big thing that concerns me.
Why Vietnam made this play early?
I don't know. Why do real-life countries declare wars they aren't necessarily 100% gonna win? Because. But, I mean, anyone... The thing is, a lot of the troops that Thailand has... World War II motorized mechanized units. If they actually try pushing into Vietnam, they're gonna get destroyed by the jungles.
They
Absolutely
have a tank.
destroyed.
I don't know what type of tank.
Just light tank. That's early World War II.
No, not that one. They have a different one that went up towards,
I saw an Amtrak, but that's not a tank.
Nakhon. It was like a more of a darker green.
Oh, I see
Kinda
see an Artie.
Supply trucks.
There's an Artie up north. That
It
looks
went
like
up
a
to
tank.
the woods. It went up to the woods and vanished.
Oh, alright. Well, I mean, that one tank is probably not so important to garner this much attention.
I was trying to figure out what type it was.
Most of Vietnam's army is still very defensive, so... Of course, Thailand is going on the offensive here. And they'll probably hold that offensive, but... I don't think that North Vietnam can actually die here. They have so many troops around their actual important areas, and they still have a decent amount of, like, guerrillas.
It depends on what, Thailand has.
I don't think they have enough to beat gorillas in a jungle, I'll tell you that much.
I'm just activating my troops just in case I have to go down there and stop Thailand out.
They're sending a whole lot of their artillery and stuff to the south.
There's that, tank. It's a Mark 1 Boy Scout.
That's not a tank,
Okay.
that's a recon.
Oh, what's this? A TL-1 Rover?
Oh look, Thailand has air as well. Thailand has a pretty decent military behind it, huh?
I can't do much against the air.
Oh, you can, it's called anti-air.
Thailand could win this. It'll be a long and painful fight, but I think Thailand with their units could pull out a slight victory here.
What do you mean a slight victory? What does that mean?
Like, a Pyrrhic victory or whatever, the very,
This isn't total war.
I would say like a heavily, a victory that has a ton of casualties on the winning
Like,
side.
they could probably go for a lot of this land unimpeded, but the problem is when they get to the actual land with all these concentrated guerrillas, with all this battle experience, and all the infantry that's just chilling right now. By the way, infantry by AI is utilized as defensive. I thought I'd clarify that. Unless it's motorized or mechanized. Ground infantry, like the guerrillas, are used as defensive units.
Because you know if I get involved, it's over.
Yeah, now here's the question. Would you declare war on them yourself after the fall of Vietnam, or would you just go help Vietnam claim the land?
I don't know. What do you think would be the better option?
It's really dependent. What would you rather? Southern buffer or direct control over something over there?
Well, either way, it's going to be a buffer because I'm going to colonize Thailand if I take it.
Alright, well, what would you rather have? Thailand as a colony, or North Vietnam, the ally, next to you?
Well, either way, I can't really do anything right now because I have to allow my forces to get experience in the homeland before I send them into battle, or they're just gonna get shredded.
Remember how you said you were just gonna have all your military production off? Remember that? Remember how you argued against me recommending you leave your military production on? Do you remember that? Does that still seem like a good idea?
I didn't expect this, though.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. You never know what's gonna happen. And you were like, no, it's fine. I don't need it. It's okay. You were so assertive that you didn't need it.
I didn't think Vietnam would just be like,
neither did I, but I told you to expect the unexpected. Because you never know what's going to happen. Even on low world volatility, anything could happen. In the actual Cold War, there was like well over 100 conflicts. There were several conflicts happening like every year. So you have to expect this kind of stuff.
Holy crap, I'm actually getting a little afraid for North Vietnam.
I'm not afraid. Mainly because I just don't care what happens to Vietnam. I know if they die or whatever, that you're just probably going to swoop in and take Thailand over yourself, along with all the Vietnamese territory. And quite frankly, that's fine by me. Whether it's North Vietnam, whether it's you or your colony, I don't care. I know that the situation's handled over there one way or another.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let them duke it out.
Looks like Vietnam is actually... They got close enough to Vietnam's, like, closer point, so they're starting to send infantry and some guerrillas over there.
I honestly would not have done that if I was North Vietnam. Here's why.
Of course not. Because you're not an AI.
That is just suicide for their troop units. If they would have held them closer to their border and had full support, they could have minimized their losses and maximize the destruction of the enemy force.
Listen, world leaders are not as tactical as gamers. I'll just point that out right now. There's like contingents of guerrillas just moving in. Mostly the infantry, but there's a lot of guerrillas mobilizing as well. Oh, they're mobilizing like everything now. Everything is being sent. With everything being sent into the jungle, I actually feel like Thailand's about to have a rough time. There's some guerrillas getting into the front line right now, and they're already tearing up the things they're fighting.
See, the hard thing about that is Thailand has the planes, and if
they have the planes, but planes aren't as effective shooting into jungle. Ooh, yeah.
We'll find out soon.
The infantry aren't doing the hottest because they suck, but where the guerrillas showed up, they're just kicking ass. Oh, one gorilla is looking like... Oh, yeah, one gorilla died. Every gorilla that dies, though, is never coming back, I believe. I believe every dead gorilla is a perma-dead gorilla, because they can't make more.
There's gonna be another one soon. Look at the one on the left. Oh, that's the infantry, never mind.
Yeah, no, I'm good at paying attention to where the gorillas are. I know the differences in their uniforms.
Goodbye.